drivers, good afternoon, riders, good afternoon, public. We are talking about the Uber stock price today, and it sure looks like in the last 24 to 48 hours, things are rallying a bit, upward trend, right? And the question is, does one jump in now? Or are you dibbling and dabbling in stocks? Are you buying, selling? You know, does one get in there and support this? Michael Smith says Uber has massive problems with the UK regulators and tax authorities, as well as $2 billion owed on VAT. True, that'll obviously play in here. Mark Roughton in the house from Vegas. You know, I've said this month after month after month. Uber needs to concentrate on the core of its business, which is transport, period, right? Going out there, experimenting, starting this, starting that, acting in this Derrick scatterbrained fashion doesn't help the stock. But maybe this guy is learning something. Maybe this guy is finally waking up. Maybe this guy finally, for the first time, had his coffee in the morning, and he realizes, hey, starting 120 different projects in 120 different directions is not helping Uber. So we dominate in a specific sector, and if we don't dominate, we dump, right? And as you see, I've been saying this all along, Uber, get rid of the crap you don't know anything about. Get rid of the crap that has nothing to do with the core of your business. So when they sold off in the Uber Eats part, which was not working for them in India, they sold it off, sold off a few other things, again, concentrating on acquisitions in their core market, namely transport. That is what they need to be focusing on, right? That is where their eyes should be on the prize, on transport. If there is a player rising up in a certain market, let's call it Bolt. Bolt has certainly made tons of inroads in Europe and Africa. Maybe they go out and buy, right? Before it really takes off and it really starts whipping them, right? Get in there and buy and dominate. What doesn't work for you, right? Get rid of it, sell it off, and show the investor that you have your eye on the prize and that you want to become, as you said in the past, the Amazon of transport. Now, since Derrick came in there, it truly was the wild, wild west, right? Uber Works, Uber Money, Uber this, Uber. We even made a very funny video and everybody started contributing, you know, Uber Stockings, Uber Lingerie, Uber this, Uber Restaurants, right? Once you dump all of the things that don't make sense and you show the investors that you have your eye on the prize and that you focus Derrick and that you've had your coffee, then things start moving up. And I think the market or the public, the investors, send a big hello to Uber yesterday when they saw that Uber was getting rid of, dumping what wasn't working for them, right? I want to briefly read a couple of messages on the side. Barry Andrews, does Uber pay any state or federal income tax? No, they pay nothing because they declare loss after loss, and their patents are all offshore, just like Amazon. Do you think Amazon is paying a cent? Nothing, nada, right? Who's paying their taxes? To the IRS, the drivers, on their earnings. And that's a fact, right? They haven't paid a cent tax, and because they're not doing that, Barry, the states are starting to look at them more closely. Wear and tear on their streets, wear and tear on their public places, wear and tear on their airports, etc. Time to pay up. That's why California made the first move. So when it says Uber is cutting its losses in unprofitable markets, I've been saying this all along, get rid of what doesn't work for you. Wall Street doesn't typically applaud companies in retreat, but analysts have been gushing this week about Uber's decision to unload its Uber Eats business in India. Uber is selling the profit-eating business to Zomato in exchange for a 9.99% stake in the company. They've obviously done their math. Uber Eats is growing faster than Uber's flagship personal mobility platform, but not every market is ready for on-demand restaurant delivery services. India is a market that could be several years away from where the niche is in more developed countries, and it wouldn't be a surprise if Uber sheds other businesses that don't have a clear path to profitability in the next few years. In the next few years, dump what doesn't work for you. They want to be a dominant number one or number two player. And if they're not, they should get rid of it, right? And if you see emerging companies, buy them up, right? If you see Bolt is on the up and up and up, I'm obviously not for Bolt being bought out. I want Bolt to become a heavy contender and mix it up here in the US market so that the prices start becoming more fairer towards the driver, right? We need competition is healthy. That's a fact. That's what I learned at business school. Let me give you an example. You have a plaza opening up, a pizzeria opens up, right? People trickle in. Next thing you see, a Chinese restaurant opens up. Next you see a sushi restaurant open up. Next thing you see, a fast food In-N-Out opening up in the same plaza. Next thing you see is an El Pollo Loco chicken opening up. Next thing you see, the next one, maybe even some spicy Indian food. Now it becomes a food court, attracting a ton of people. So you go there, what do we feel like today? Feel like Indian, feel like fast food, feel like sushi, right? More people coming to the plaza. So competition is extremely healthy. It's why if you see a Starbucks right across the street, they might open a coffee bean or a Pete's Coffee, right? Getting all the coffee lovers in. Competition is very, very healthy. James Campbell's in the house. Scott Tucker's in the house. 904 News, 904 Duval, are you okay today? Probably more okay than you are because you're asking a lot of questions. Are you okay? I'm more concerned about 904 News. Tavo L'Oreal, how are you? Ha! He says El Pollo Loco. I had it yesterday. I like it. So one of the second reasons there is a little bit of an up and up, and I don't want the public to get overly excited here, but if Derek Kay and team follow a certain protocol, dominate in the transport industry, one or two player, and buy emerging companies and offload, dump stuff that doesn't work, that has nothing to do with their model, I think people will start seeing them more serious. Most importantly, people also look, especially riders in public, hey, how is the company treating its employees? How is the company treating its drivers, right? Right now, we are the main source of income for this company. So if you want to make another bump up, it's not necessarily mentioned in this article, but it's how you treat people, right? How you treat people has a ripple effect. It really does. Where's the turd? Do I need to flush someone? Somebody says there's a turd. I'll flush him if you can point him out. So next point here, I like the Motley Fool. They bring out really good articles. Being the top dog matters. Lyft and Uber realize that posting double-digit revenue growth in the otherwise sleeping transportation industry isn't enough to impress investors. The market needs to see less red ink to validate the nascent industry. And both companies are taking steps to turn the corner. Lyft is hoping to be profitable on an adjusted EBITDA basis by early as the end of the next year, and Uber is also driving in the right direction on that front. Lyft turned heads when it went public, just ahead of Uber, blah, blah, blah. We know all of that. We are structurally set up more efficiently and more optimally than anyone else to move to profitability. He said, this environment is perfect for us. That was Derek Kay. Maybe Derek Kay is waking up and learning. The third point here, they said last year's drop is a good thing. The silver lining behind the brutal debut for Uber and Lyft is that they closed out 2019 trading 34% and 40% below their IPO prices, respectively. Broken IPOs are often busted for a reason, but Uber isn't a third the company it was when it went public in the springtime of last year. Uber is growing, and it's only made up roughly half the ground it lost in 2019, right? That's the one article. The next one says, I like MarketWatch. If you ever want to follow a great website, MarketWatch, they say the key point number one is profitability progressing ahead of expectations. Lower levels of industry couponing in Uber's rides business, not discount. It never helped the driver when all these crazy all these crazy discounts that they're offering, right, to attract riders. They're doing that less and less, right? That only hurt our pay. So Quiet Madness says they treat us as if they're worthless, no money, low pay. I agree. And we'll keep on fighting the fight, and we will keep on hammering and chipping away at Uber and Lyft until we are taken care of, right? Right now, they're just taking care of themselves, right? All they are concerned about is stock price, who do we buy, who do we offload? What they're not focusing on is the guys and girls making them the money. That's my job, right? And we do have a lot of power there, my friends. Don't underestimate yourself, right? You have the power to vote. You have the power to contact your Congress and your senators and say, hey, I'm not happy with the pay, change it, or I vote your ass out, period, right? So you got to exercise and leverage that power that you have, right? And I got to keep on saying this until it really, really sinks in, until drivers really take action. I do want to see Florida and Texas and all these other states being able to set their own rates. Remember the video that I made yesterday? California leading on this AB5 initiative, right? Forcing Uber now to allow us to act as true independent contractors and set our own rates. Guess what? For anybody in the room right now that hasn't listened to yesterday's video, Santa Barbara, Sacramento, Palm Springs Airport already testing, right? Testing drivers setting their own rates. This, my friends, is what I want for New Mexico, Colorado. I want this for every state. So my job is so far, far, far from done. And I will keep on chipping away, hammering away, article after article, press release after press release, video after video, until we get movement and traction in those other states. M. Sawyer says, Arthur, we are independent only come tax time. Interesting statement. True, though. Arthur Johnson says, is the independent contractor perks that are being experimented with in California definitely going to go nationwide? I live in Ohio. Look, it looks like other people would like these privileges. Wouldn't you like to accept or decline a trip? Wouldn't you like to dictate your earnings? Wouldn't you like to be treated as a true independent contractor? Whether you're in Ohio or California, my friend, right? I would want my independence, right? I would want to pick and choose when I drive, with whom I drive, and what rates. If I understand my market, and if I understand that New Year's Eve is peak time, I shouldn't be making them the money, right? I should be taking care of myself as an independent contractor. Why? Because the market dictates supply and demand, right? And I should be in control of that. You should be in control of that. RM Zaya says perks may not be viable in all markets. True statement, right? We'd have to figure out and see how this market reacts, how the riders react to our demands on prices, right? So, but back to the article, why Uber is a little bit on the up and up. Core rides, profitability trends, recent cost optimization efforts. Sadly, when you talk about cost optimization efforts, right? They say 4% global headcount. Sadly, these optimization efforts hurt us, hurt the drivers, right? And optionality in Eats investment leave us constructive on the path to 2021 breaking even profitability. David wrote. Key point number 2, new disclosure shows better than expected core rides business, right? This is from MarketWatch. Uber disclosed segment level details for the first time in its third quarter report, including bookings, revenue, and underlying earnings by business. The numbers showed that even when allocating 100% of the $623 million segmented to corporate overhead to the rides business, that business broke even in the third quarter. Incremental year-over-year rides margin of 40% plus suggests further room for scaling of the rides business. That is what it's about the rides business, not what the food delivery business, not about the money business, not about the employment business, about the rides business, right? And we are helping to grow that. So my question to these market analysts, my question to these Wall Street commentators, why do you never ever factor in the people that bring in the money, the people that conduct the rides, the people that actually are not probably, which could truly be your best marketing tools out there, the driver in the car, feeling good about himself, feeling good about his pay, feeling good about the company, marketing to riders, recruiting, right? That they haven't even tapped into. They haven't even tapped into the true potential of the driver, that the driver could be their biggest asset. The driver could be their biggest marketing tool, right? Why would I go out and promote this company, in its best way or fashion to a rider if it's mistreating me? So that, my friends, these Market Watch people have so much to learn about. That is why I would like to use that niche and fill that niche with our commentary, with our suggestions, with our input. So we fill that void, right, that these guys are not talking about, right? The other thing here, let's see, key point number 3, company solidifies 12 to 18 month plan for its Eats business. Management plans to invest aggressively in Eats markets where the company can establish or defend a number 1 or 2 market position over the next 12 to 18 months. For the markets that Uber can't win, the company said it will dispose of assets or consider acquisitions that would boost market share, right? So their whole thing is they want to become the dominant 1 or 2 player, if not dump it, right? So if you're looking at your different segments where you are operating in, right, it's not working for you, Derek K. Offload it, sell it, sell it off to someone that really wants to build that business and concentrate on that business instead of going out in 120 different directions. They say, we find it encouraging the company has put a timetable on improving or exiting unprofitable Eats markets. Along these lines, in September, the company exited the South Korea food delivery market amid tough competition, right? So it's paying off, telling the investor and the public what your long-term plans are. And those are, if it doesn't work for us, we'll offload it. If it works for us, we'll get into first or second position or acquire powerful emerging companies, right? Another thing, key point number 4, some additional reasons for the new bullish stance, right? Uber's latest disclosures indicate that was only a 20% overlap between monthly active platform consumers, MAPCs, for its rides and Eats business, which implies there is significant potential runways for synergies, including lower cost Uber acquisitions. Remember, I spoke about this. Maybe a lower cost acquisition could be, no, it wouldn't be a low cost acquisition because Bolt has already made a good name for itself. But if they can see someone with good ideas and with good potential entering the market, in the transport market, in the ride market, buy it up. Synergies between rides and Eats products are still early, but could be a tailwind, right? The closing of Uber's pending $3.1 billion acquisitions of Careem, which is expected in January 2020, would meaningfully extend Uber's market share in the Middle East region, right? So you have a big player like Careem in the Middle East, right? Because you are in the transportation business, do we acquire them? Do we buy them up and become the dominant player in the Middle East? Looks like that's where they're going. There is potential equity value support if Uber decides to realize the value of its investment in Didi, Grab, and the Yandex taxi joint venture. And Devitt says current market valuations credit little, if any, value for Uber's freight subsidiary. Okay, so we look at Uber's freight subsidiary. They say doesn't really have much value. I would be okay with that because I think it has long-term potential, right? It fits into transportation. It fits into their model. So if they can chip away, if it doesn't become a number 1 or 2 contender within the next 2 years, sell it to the trucking industry, right? He said there may be additional value creation opportunities in Uber's advanced technologies group business as well, which is currently isn't getting much valuation credit, even though it has received $1.5 billion in outside investments at a valuation of $7.25 billion as of April from Toyota, Denso, and SoftBank. One of the key overhangs on Uber's stock is is uncertainty regarding labor classifications, including California AB5. Here we go. Which restricts how companies can classify workers as contractors rather than full-time employees who are entitled to benefits. David said Uber and other rivals have indicated there have been constructive discussions with lawmakers. Listen to that. There have been constructive discussions with lawmakers and say they are optimistic that a middle ground solution can be reached. Isn't this what the rideshare professor has been preaching every single month in his videos? That we will meet, remember, I use this in the middle, constructive discussions, out of court discussions, okay? It's got to be a win for the lawmakers, a win for the company, and a win for the drivers. So for those people still thinking that AB5 was not a good thing, you will see at the end of the day, when the dust settles, right, we get into the middle and we get a better deal. Now, to keep on putting the pressure, to keep on leveraging our power, to keep on pushing from the driver's side, it is imperative, it is muy importante, it is super, super important. Es ist sehr, sehr wichtig. It is baie belangrijk, right? That people will understand if they speak those languages. It is very important that we keep on pushing and supporting other states. Even if the battle's going on in AB5 and we're getting them, right? Like they said, constructive discussions with lawmakers, and they say they are optimistic and that a middle ground solution can be reached. We don't only want a middle ground solution in California, folks. I want the Ohio peoples to stand up. I want Eric from New Jersey to speak up. I want Mr. Sawyer from Florida to speak up, right? I need you guys to stand up and rise, right? It's important that you get your own AB5 going. And it's important that drivers leverage their power. And I will keep on preaching this video after video after video, right? Because I saw the direction that AB5 was going in, right? And I saw that the state has a lot of money and will be relentless on this. And then on the other hand, you have Uber already collecting, paying for signatures. That's another video that I've made. You've got guys on the streets collecting signatures. They've been paid for signatures to put this on the ballot, right? Paying people for a vote. How sad is that, right? Going rate is about $3 for your signature, right? So if you are a guy out there collecting signatures, they're paying you $3 for each signature that you're bringing. They're literally hiring people, Uber and Lyft. They're hiring and paying people to go out and convince the public, right? I'm going to be making a video on that. Shameful on the people that if you're so desperado, working for $3 per signature. What a shitty way to make money, right? But okay, it's the dirty game that Uber and Lyft want to play, right? And let me tell you, if you have an army of quiet madnesses, passengers get a fresh, clean, comfortable ride with water, snacks, charger for decent prices, and they expect it, but we get the poop at the end of the stick. We have to branch out. Yes, we do, right? This is what this channel is about, right? Pushing back. I have a very, very hardcore letter again going to Jennifer Sullivan, the attorney in the matter that I brought the case to Uber. She is my liaison. She represents Uber. I'm liaising with Jennifer Sullivan on my February hearing, right? I won the first round when they wanted to appear telephonically. I gave legal arguments that they cannot appear telephonically. They have to be in court. I want to see their butts in court. I want to confront these people in the hallways of the court and say, listen, we're coming after you. I'm not afraid to tell that to an attorney. I have an army of 3 million people with other YouTubers. We're coming after you, and we'll do it state by state. So you start waking up and treating us better, or you'll get lawsuit after discrimination. We will break you down, my friend. This is what I need to do, say eye to an attorney. So I said, I want to see you there. I wrote the letter to this Jennifer Sullivan. I want to see you in the courthouse. I want to be able to talk to you mano to mano, right? Man to man, man to woman. I don't care who you are, but you need to hear it from the drivers. I will not allow you to appear telephonically. So the judge ruled in my favor, shut them down. They have to be there, right? And now before the February 14th hearing, I send them a letter and I say, listen, you better start talking. You better start communicating, or ... Those are hardcore threats that I made, right? What I plan to do if these people don't start treating us correctly. So I have a golden opportunity through my case, drawing in the Uber legal team face to face, right? I have way more to discuss than my case, my numbers against them. The bigger picture, I'm not afraid to discuss that with them at all. That's in my DNA. I know how to fight the fight. I've done it. I've had a victory against McDonald's Incorporated, brought instrumental changes to all of their restaurants through my case, and I also have a victory under my belt against another big one, Time Warner. I'm not afraid to take the fight to these people. Talk is cheap. You can look up the cases online. My name, Torsten Kunert versus McDonald's Food Inc. Incorporated. And you can't tell me that McDonald's is a tiny company. So if one individual can take on a company and get a victory, that gives me all the power I need. They are far, far bigger than Uber, my friends. Far, far bigger, right? So what we need to do, this is not me as a standalone person. This is me as a general or as a foot soldier with 3 million other foot soldiers. So whether you're in Sydney, Australia, whether you're in Ohio, I don't care where you are, but you got to get your AB5 movement going. You got to say, hey, I am an independent contractor. That's what you say I am. Treat me accordingly, right? And we need to get into this discussion of these market watchers, of these motley fools, of the Wall Street. We need to bring ourselves into the conversation. What I like is with our relentless pressure, with our pressure, this guy from Market Watch, right at the bottom of the article, right at the bottom of the article, says, this guy's, his name is Mr. Devitt, said Uber and other rivals have indicated there have been constructive discussions with lawmakers and say they are optimistic that a middle ground solution can be reached. That is us bringing the fight to them, right? There is risk to the California regulatory situation, but believe at current share price levels, the sentiment more than reflects to the risk relative to Uber's exposure, right? So if Uber can work out that deal with us in California, I tell you what, the stock price will go up, right? If we bring the fight in all the 50 states and all the international countries to Uber on this AB5 issue, we control the stock. And every time they reach middle ground solution with us, as the guy says, it will impact the stock favorably, meaning we're in the discussion, we're getting treated better, we're getting better pay, the stock can go up. And I want us drivers as a force, as an army of 3 million strong, to be able to be in the front seat and control that steering wheel, right? That at any time or point, we can rally, we can strike, we can protest, we can bring attention to your treatment of drivers, right? So please stay with me in the front seat here. Devitt, he says, the least bullish of the Uber bulls. Devitt certainly isn't the only Wall Street analyst that is bullish on Uber stock, but he is the least bullish. Of the 37 analysts surveyed by FactSet, 25 analysts, or 68%, have the equivalent of buy or overweight ratings. Of those bulls, Devitt's price target is the lowest, as the others' targets range from $40 to $64. The average target of all the analysts is $44.88, which is 52% current levels, but fractionally below the IPO price. So had you bought in at the lowest of the lowest, my guess it was around about $26. And if he is the most conservative of the lot, right, and it does reach this 44.88, which it can if they treat us well, if we stay involved in this discussion, right? You've made a lot of money buying in at 26, bringing it up all the way to 44. You're making even more money if you go after the most bullish analysts that say it'll go up to 64. You can almost triple your money. But we have to stay at the wheel, folks. You know what I mean? We have to stay at the wheel. We have to stay in this conversation. That is muy, muy importante. SunTrust, Robertson Humphreys, Yusuf Squali reiterated Friday the buying rating and $56 stock price target he's had on the stock since initiating coverage of Uber is June. He said the stock has likely bottomed out as the new ride's profitability disclosure provides valuation support. Blah, 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 blah. Travis Kalanick may be kicking himself that he sold early, right? Because really in the last 48 hours, it literally shot up 10%. He said Uber stock trades at 2.5 times fiscal 2020 revenue estimates, while Lyft stock trades at 2.8 times. Uber's category position in rides, platform approach, management experience, and investment stakes, particularly in Didi and Grab, should garner a premium multiple relative to Lyft over time, given its larger total addressable market and scale, Squali wrote in a research note. Fundamentals may be turning the corner, but technicals aren't quite there yet. Some simple readings of Uber's stock chart suggest the stock has a little further to go before technicals can support the bullish case. They supply the graph here, and then they say the stock remains below a trend line and within a channel that has tracked the downtrend since the highs, since David started covering the stock. It would take a close above the top downtrend line, which currently extends to about $31, to register a breakout and suggest a new uptrend may have started. Separately, the stock's momentum indicator, which measures the magnitude of gains relative to the magnitude of declines over a specific time period, suggests an overbought technical condition as it has reached levels that previously coincided with pullbacks in price. Blah, 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 right? So where are we right now on this? Where are we as far as the stock price goes? We are trading at $37.10. My friends, it's quite a bit up from the last 2 days. Dylan Seaman says 32 last week, 37 now. That's a $5 increase. But we cannot, my friends, we cannot let them trample over us in all of these markets, right? We can become a significant player, significant influencer if we bring the AB5 issue to them in all these markets, right? We want to be at the discussion table. This was mentioned in these articles, is that we are now, part of this discussion. We are part of like the California discussion. They say they seem optimistic. They will reach middle ground. That means you have them on the one side, us on the one side. We initiated with California. We meet them in the middle. We got to meet them in the middle in Texas, in Florida, in New York, in all those states, in all those foreign countries. Tim the Maniac Miller says it will continue to give public investors confidence as they regain trust of Uber for the ability to open their eyes, to finally see, and to be fair to those of us who got them where they are right now, right? Which is true. But, Tim, we got to stay involved in the conversation. If we surrender, if we let down our energy, if we put down our fight, if we put down our gloves, they will stampede us in these other markets, right? Right now, we just have a brawl going on in California, and we're doing well there. We're doing well. So help me, please. Help me bring the battle to them in these other states. Michael Smith says, what does Michael Smith say? I'm interested in what he says. It just went by me. He says, Uber can't buy competitors out in many markets due to competition laws. That is a very true statement. So they can't just go in there and swallow up everyone, right? Many of those other states or countries have specific laws in place, right? They don't want Uber to monopolize. So it'll be interesting to see who they acquire, who they don't. Scott Tucker says, funny thing is the guy that collects signatures probably has to take an Uber car ride to the store grocery chain to get those signatures with us. Thank you, Scott. I have a pic. You know when he's got a bean, he's got a hat on and he's got glasses on. Why? Because he's so ashamed to be seen in the public place that he's collecting signatures for $3, right? Shame on that guy. Let me just show you who you are. I'm going to do an article on you. Shame on you, buddy. I'm going to expose your silly ass right here. Look at that. You tell me this guy's not hiding? Look at him collecting all the signatures. Sign the petition. Keep Uber and Lyft affordable in California. Affordable? right? It's already beyond affordable, right? You should rather say keep Uber and Lyft real in California, right? And collect signatures for us. But instead, this stupid a-hole here with his little outfit and his glasses sitting there collecting signatures, $3 a pop against us. Shame on you, asshole. Shame on you. I hope you come forward. I would love to know your name, but I am going to make a video on you because you're a sellout, my fool. You're working for $3. What a hustle. I hope it rains and soaks up your sheets and completely destroys your signatures that you got $3 a pop for. Right? What does it say in the small print there? Allow rideshare drivers to remain classified as independent contractors. Wow, is that not misleading? And keep their flexibility, keep rideshare apps affordable, right? So who is this a-hole reaching out to? Riders, right? Keep it affordable, keep it as low as possible. This guy, this fool is selling us out here with your shades and your hat hiding there on your phone. You're not even working, you're on your phone, right? I would fire you, silly ass, right there and then. You're not even working. You're sitting there on your phone, texting other people, and you're holding this banner up, which is against drivers. Shame on you, right? And here's the most misleading part of this. This is Uber paying this guy $3 per signature. $3 per signature. I'll show you the ad. Paula sent me the ad. Don't believe me? Let's bring some clarity into this. Where's Uber Gold Paula? She sent me a great article yesterday showing and proving to me here. Here's the article. That's in San Diego. And it says all these things where you can $2 for medical malpractice, consumer privacy, $2 per signature, kidney dialysis, $3 per signature, a Uber petition paying $4 a signature. Sorry, I thought it was $3. A Uber petition paying $4 a signature, and a voter registration drive paying $3 a voter. $4 is what they're paying riders in the public to screw drivers over. And which asshole is behind this, right? Which fool is selling us out? This little creep here. This little creep. And then Uber has the audacity to make a banner that says, allow rideshare drivers to remain classified as independent contractors, right? And keep their flexibility. Keep rideshare apps affordable for everyone. That's how they get the rider. Hey, it's fear marketing again. If you don't sign this, if I can't get my $4, guess what? Your rates could be going up, your rider rates, right? But it completely working against the driver. They pay fools like this little Slim Shady here, $4 a signature. Shame on you, arsehole. I hope if I see this guy in the street, I will kick his stand over and rip up those papers, right? Because he is working directly in opposition to us, the Slim Shady of a fool. I hope to find out where your desk is, because I would kick that banner down and I will educate you what you're doing there. You're collecting $4 a pop and working against people that are getting below minimal wage. Alan Mills, don't see how people make money driving. What do you say? What are you complaining about, Alan? Don't see how people make money driving with Uber at the end, no matter if you're renting a car or using a rental. I disagree with you. I make a lot of money being on the Uber and Lyft platform and on the private platform. And what I'm fighting for is true independent contractor status so that I can start making my own rates. I can start making my own rates that are very, very in tune with my private rates that I set as a limo driver. You're making money, right? So I want to see that surrender language, Alan Mills. I want to see the fight. I want to see Alan Mills say, hey, what can I do for these other states? How can I get in the picture? How can I be involved, right? So that we get better pay and better rights. Bring it to them, my friends. It's not difficult. Alfredo Romero, what's up? All right, so I covered that. My alarm just went off. Got my duties to fulfill. We're 40 minutes into the video. I will put the links of those of Market Watch and Motley Fool right under there if you want to read or recap what I've spoken about. But the bottom line is here. I'm not going out unless I have 40 likes. Sorry, we have 63 people watching. We have 24 likes. I've just put in another 40 minutes here of my energy fighting the fight. I need to go up to 40 before I can exit this room. Thank you so much. See, we're driving our own driver stock up here. Here we go. 28, 30. Thank you. Appreciate it. Every like that I get there justifies what I'm doing here, right? Don't want to take my eye off the ball. I'm on 32. Our stock is rising. Driver stock is rising right now. We're on 32 likes. Took it from 22 to 32. Thank you. I know we can get to 40. I'm not leaving until we are at 40. William Van Gordon in the house. Give us a like here, my friend. We're on 33. Scott Tucker, give us a like. Quiet Madness, 100%, 100%. Fighting the fight. I love it. Keep it coming, Quiet Madness. We're on 34. We're going up to 35. Beautiful. Our stock is rising, right? And we will remain a player at the table. We will help achieve middle ground. Remember, video after video, I do this. Get them into the middle. 37. Love you. 3 more to go. My day starts. John Bauer in the house. 26.59 here. What are you referring to? 26.59 dollars that you've made for the day, or the stock that you bought at 26.59? What are we talking about, John Bauer? Be more specific. 37, got 3 more to go. I've reached my target. Love reaching targets, right? Set an intention, follow through, close the deal, my friends. We close the deal when we have representation and we've achieved it for every single US and international market, right? And you guys have the power in social media to contribute, right? So wanted to show a little bit of love to Uber today, a little bit of love for the stock price going up because Mr. Scatterbrain, Derek Kay, is finally selling off things that don't make sense and focusing back on the core of his market. So I'm going to give him a 1 thumbs up for that, right? That he's starting to become a little bit focused. He's still, in my eyes, an incompetent fool and the wrong guy for the job, right? Because he does not know how to treat his labor force, his workforce. So he has to go. I'll stick with that. But he is trying a little harder than he normally does, right? Maybe he stayed an hour or 2 longer in his office and he said, man, maybe I should go out there and watch all these videos. Maybe we should concentrate on the core of our business again. I'm on 39. I need 1 more. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Reached 40. I'm out of here. The rest of my day is dedicated to my children. I'm excited to take them out for lunch, do the homework with them, see how they are, support them during finals, see what they need, take them to sports, to practice, and be a good dad. And hopefully all you dads and moms out there, put your best foot forward for your kids, treat them well, love them, hug them, and be there for them, right? Make them future leaders, better leaders than Derek Kay, better leaders than Uber and Lyft. Show them how to treat people well with dignity, respect, right? And show them how to build up their own integrity, right? That a child already shows up with integrity every day, whether he goes to school, whether he's at home, whether he's in front of his parents, but he shows up with dignity, pride, and integrity. We can teach our kids young. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm out of here. I appreciate you all. Let's keep it alive. Let's keep it real. And please, whatever you do, always eyes on the road, drive safe. Thank you.